Did you know a single bruised banana contains exactly enough potassium to destroy your spotless reputation in under 90 seconds? You're clutching said banana right now, desperately trying to protect your utterly unblemished record as an honest shopper, while the self-checkout terminal flashes a blinding red strobe and loudly announces you scanned produce using the wrong code, charging you $10 instead of 50 cents for fruit that costs less than the plastic bag in your hand. The fluorescent lights hum with a distinctly judgmental frequency as you stand frozen at register 6, staring at a digital receipt that just transformed breakfast into a financial crime scene. Panic floods your system the moment you realize everyone in a 12-foot radius can see the screen. So you rapidly mash the void button in a desperate, sweaty bid to erase the machine's error before the attendant decides you're running the banana trick. That infamous shoplifting move where customers ring up expensive organic avocados as cheap produce to save a few bucks. This frantic slapping only triggers repeated, unexpected item in bagging area alerts, each one louder and more accusatory than the last, summoning staff who are trained to question every scan that doesn't match the weight sensor's expectations. You can practically feel the collective judgment radiating from the frozen food section as the system locks your transaction and broadcasts a polite mechanical voice asking you to please wait for assistance, which in self-checkout language translates to, "We think you're stealing." And everyone within earshot now knows it. An attendant materializes with the suspicious efficiency of someone who has seen this exact scenario 4 times before lunch, holding a scanner gun like it's evidence collection equipment, and eyeing your banana with the skepticism usually reserved for counterfeit currency. She taps her override screen, frowns at the weight discrepancy, then asks in a voice loud enough to reach the pharmacy whether you scanned this item correctly, emphasizing the word correctly in a way that makes you want to sing through the linoleum and live among the utility pipes forever. Desperate to clear your name and escape the crushing social shame radiating from every angle, you pull out your phone to record the screen showing the glitch, thinking if you can just document the machine's mistake, you'll have proof that you are not, in fact, a produce code criminal mastermind orchestrating the heist of the century over fruit. You angle the camera to capture the mismatch between the banana in your hand and the avocado price on the display, narrating in a shaky whisper that you only wanted breakfast and the machine made an error. Please just look at the evidence. The attendant pauses, visibly uncomfortable with being filmed, and takes half a step back, while other shoppers pull out their own phones, some recording you, others recording her, transforming Register 6 into an impromptu documentary set where everyone is both filmmaker and subject. You show the manager your video plea when he arrives, a man whose name tag reads Assistant Floor Lead, and whose expression reads, "I do not get paid enough for this." But the furious crowd of fellow shoppers who have gathered to watch starts murmuring about their own self-checkout disasters. One woman announces she was accused of stealing dish soap last week when the scanner hiccuped. Another guy mentions the machine once charged him for lobster when he bought potatoes. And within seconds, your private humiliation becomes a communal therapy session in aisle 3. Someone in the back yells, "Down with the glitchy scanners!" which would be inspiring if it weren't happening because you couldn't buy a banana without incident. And suddenly, you're holding up the fruit like a revolutionary symbol you never asked to carry, while frustrated shoppers post their own stories to social media. The situation accelerates from a localized retail glitch into a social media storm with the speed of a sneeze in a crowded elevator, and reports of similar false accusations flood networks within hours as your video gets shared, then reshared, then remixed, with captions like, "This is why I hate robots," and "Self-checkout is a scam." Store security monitors the increasingly chaotic parking lot through cameras that were installed to catch actual thieves, not to document the collapse of customer patience over produce code errors, while corporate retailers nervously watch the backlash go viral and start drafting internal memos about system accuracy. Your phone buzzes non-stop with notifications as strangers tag you in threads about scanner failures, weight sensor glitches, and the existential dread of being publicly accused of theft while buying groceries in yoga pants and a stained hoodie. The manager, clearly trying to de-escalate before the evening news shows up, gently suggests you step outside the flow of traffic so he can process a manual override and get you on your way. But the crowd interprets this as an attempt to silence you and starts filming him too, creating a recursive loop where everyone is recording everyone else recording the original recording of a 50-cent banana. Trapped beneath the awning between the automatic doors and a row of shopping carts that rattle in the wind like a Greek chorus of metal, you ultimately sit at a plastic folding table with the manager, getting a refund and an override and a quiet apology for the inconvenience. He manually inputs the correct code, voids the avocado charge, and hands you a printed receipt showing $0 and 0 cents owed, which feels less like victory and more like a participation trophy for surviving bureaucracy. You thank him in a voice that sounds like it's been run through a shredder, grab your now infamous banana, and walk toward the exit, while a dozen phones track your movement like you're a celebrity leaving a courthouse. The fluorescent lights overhead flicker once, as if the building itself is exhausted by the drama, and you push through the automatic doors into the parking lot where a small crowd is gathered to discuss whether self-checkout machines are a cost-saving innovation or a psychological experiment. Designed to break the human spirit one code at a time. Someone asks if you're okay. Another person asks if you're going to sue. And a third individual offers you a bottle of water like you've just finished a marathon, which, emotionally speaking, you absolutely have. By the time you reach your car, the video has cracked 10,000 views, with comments ranging from, "This happened to me," to "Burn all the machines," to "I can't believe they accused you over a banana," each one adding fuel to a conversation you never intended to start. Local news outlets pick up the story by evening, framing it as a consumer rights angle about faulty technology and the unintended consequences of replacing human cashiers with temperamental weight sensors that treat every transaction like a criminal investigation. The store's corporate office releases a statement promising to review scanner calibration and improve staff training, which is the corporate equivalent of, "We're sorry you feel that way." Within 48 hours, your banana has become a symbol of collective frustration with automation. That doesn't quite work, but also can't be avoided, because every grocery chain in the city has converted half their registers to self-service. You spend the next week fielding messages from people who want to share their own scanner horror stories, and each one is a small testament to the universal experience of being publicly shamed by a machine that cost more than your car but can't tell a banana from an avocado. One person sends you a photo of a receipt where a single carrot rang up as a 10-pound ham. Another shares a video of a scanner that refused to accept any produce at all and kept flashing, "Please remove item," until the customer gave up and left the store empty-handed. A local tech blogger writes an essay about weight sensor tolerances and code databases, explaining that the machines rely on a combination of barcode scans, manual code entry, and weight verification to prevent theft. But the system is so sensitive that even a slightly damp piece of fruit can trigger an alert because the moisture adds weight there. Database doesn't expect. In practice, this means if you grab produce from the misted display case, you're basically setting yourself up for a public interrogation. Another article points out that self-checkout theft, both intentional and accidental, costs retailers billions annually, which is why the machines are programmed to be paranoid, treating every customer like a potential criminal until proven otherwise, through a series of increasingly frustrating verification steps. The manager calls you a week later to offer a gift card as a goodwill gesture, which you accept, not because you want to return to the scene of the crime, but because free groceries are free groceries, and you've already survived the worst the self-checkout can throw at you. He mentions, in a tone that suggests he's reading from a script, that the store has recalibrated all the weight sensors and retrained staff on how to handle scanner errors with more discretion, which you interpret as, "Please don't post any more videos." You thank him, hang up, and stare at the $25 gift card that arrived in the mail, wondering if it's meant to compensate you for the embarrassment or simply to buy your silence, and concluding that it's probably both. The viral wave eventually recedes as the internet moves on to newer outrages and fresher humiliations. but your video remains online, a permanent digital monument to the day a malfunctioning code entry elevated a mundane breakfast purchase into a viral social media incident. By recording to prove your innocence, you accidentally became the face of a movement you never wanted to join, sparking online buzz about self-checkout woes from a grocery store parking lot that now holds a special place in your personal hall of shame. The banana, for what it's worth, tasted completely ordinary, which somehow makes the whole ordeal even more ridiculous in retrospect. A localized machine glitch transformed a mundane grocery run into a viral cautionary tale about the fragile social contract between customers and the robots we've been told will make our lives easier. And the whole mess proves that sometimes trying to fix a small problem in public creates a much bigger one that follows you home. If your local self-checkout flagged you wrongly over produce, would you demand a refund and walk away quietly? Or would you pull out your phone and post the whole mess online for the world to judge? Drop a comment if you've ever battled a self-checkout machine and lost your dignity in the process. And maybe hit like, just in case the algorithm decides your banana is actually an avocado and you need all the good karma you can get.